Dear students, welcome to my whiteboard program once again after a long time. So this phase we have to discuss class 10 science, all the chapters like physics, chemistry and bio. Some important questions we have to discuss in this phase on the view of exam, that is board exam. So today we will discuss chapter 1. Question is there. That is the question you can see. What are exothermic and endothermic reaction? How are these represented? Give some example. So let us see. What do you mean by exothermic and endothermic? Because this is coming from chapter 1. Chemical reactions are different types. You know all of you. That is, one is known as the combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, oxidation reaction, redox reaction and further reduction reaction. So out of this reaction there is a combination and decomposition reaction. So we'll discuss exothermic and endothermic reaction, which is coming within the combination and decomposition reaction. Let us first discuss what is called the exothermic reaction. Exo means out, thermic means heat or temperature or energy. So the reaction, the chemical reaction during which the heat energy or energy is evolved in the product side along with the product, that type of reaction is known as the exothermic reaction. So it is represented by this way, that is reactant aroma, it gives the product along with some amount of energy. If energy comes in the right side, that is in the product side, then definitely that energy may be heat energy or whatever energy, but energy must be liberated there. So along with the product, if energy comes in the product side, then that is called the exothermic reaction. So in this way we can represent A plus B. Suppose two reactants are there combining, gives C plus D, suppose two products along with certain amount of energy, then this is called the exothermic reaction. This is the representation. Clear, I think? Some example we can give, like carbon monoxide, oxygen, carbon dioxide, certain amount of energy is given there, 540 kilojoule, that is energy. So carbon plus oxygen, that is carbon dioxide, certain amount of energy will be produced along with this. So these are known as the exothermic reaction because energy is produced along with the product. Now some other are there like nitrogen and hydrogen, N2 plus CH2, nitrogen plus hydrogen, ammonia gas is formed, NH3, and certain amount of energy will be formed. That is also exothermic reaction. Methane, when burnt in the presence of oxygen, it also gives the carbon dioxide, water as well as some certain amount of energy in the form of heat. So in each case you can see right side energy are evolved or energy are produced, and that type of reaction we can the exothermic reaction. Another very interesting example is respiration. It is a biochemical reaction. We know respiration. Respiration, what happens? Glucose molecule combine with the oxygen and give the carbon dioxide, water molecule along with certain amount of energy, that is we call ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That energy comes in the form of ATP, that is 38 ATP comes. So as this glucose is oxidized and give the products along with certain amount of energy, so our respiration is also known as the exothermic reaction. I think clear. This is exothermic reaction. Let us come to endothermic reaction. So what is endothermic reaction? The chemical reaction for which heat or energy is required to carry out the reaction. Without this energy, reaction may not take place. If the reaction in which energy is required to carry out the reaction, then that type of reaction is known as the endothermic reaction because the energy is required here. But exothermic, energy is evolved, generated, but here energy is required. So we have kept the energy in the left hand side, in the reactant side. So this is reactant plus certain amount of energy, then the reaction will take place and the product will be there. So energy is required here. So it can be represented reactant A plus reactant B plus certain amount of energy will be given here, supplied here, then product C and D will be formed, C plus D. So here what happens? Energy is required to carry out the reaction. The reaction in which energy is required to carry out the reaction, that to get the product, that is called the endothermic reaction. So some examples are, this endothermic reaction is also known as the bond breaking reaction. Bond breaking, because when we give the energy, then the bond is broken, and that due to break of the bond, the reaction takes place and we get the product. So this is also called the bond breaking reaction. Example, when water is heated, you see water liquid form is heated with the amount of energy here, heat energy, then we will get the water in the form of gas. That is a change, may not be chemical reaction, but changes is there. That changes is known as the endothermic changes. This is also one changes. Carbon in the form of graphite, when is heated in this temperature, heat, then it will change into the diamond. That is changes. But some chemical reaction you see, calcium carbonate, that is called the limestone. Calcium carbonate is known as the limestone, chuna pathar. When it is heated, then it will decompose into the calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So here heat is required. If we do not give the heat here or energy here, then this product will not come out. So for the reaction, we need the heat here. Heat is required here. Similarly, AgCl means silver chloride. When comes to the sunlight, it decomposes into silver and chlorine. So here sunlight is required in the, that is one form of energy. So in this case, energy is required, and that energy may be in the form of heat, maybe in the form of light also, maybe in the form of electricity also. If we will come to one example, suppose you see here one example I am taking, that is H2O. Then if we will give here electricity, then what will happen? Then H2 plus O2 will be formed. So now 2, then we can come 2 and like that. So when water will be, the electricity is passed into the water, then water will decompose to give hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. That is called the decomposition reaction, but in the form of, in the presence of electricity, which is known as the one type of energy. So in this way also energy is required to carry out the reaction, and this is energy in the form of electricity. So whatever may be the form of energy, but energy is required here, so that's why it is called the endothermic reaction. Like photosynthesis also, respiration is known as the exothermic reaction, and photosynthesis, that is also known as the endothermic, because CO2 plus 12H2O. So sunlight is there, sunlight, and then we will get C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus 6H2O. So what did you see? In this reaction, sunlight is required, and this sunlight is the form of energy. So to carry out this product, to carry out this reaction, energy is required here. So that's why this is also known as the endothermic reaction. Are you clear now? So finally what we decide, that is exothermic reaction is the reaction in which heat is or energy is evolved as a product, as a byproduct from. So when the reaction will carry out, then certain product will be formed along with certain amount of energy. So that is exothermic reaction, and the reaction for which energy is required to carry out it. So that type of reaction is known as the endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction also known as the bond breaking reaction. So today this question is over. So you have to prepare and try to understand it. So your concept is required. No need to memorize. Concept. Some example you keep in your mind, and concept you develop. So that will help you in the exam. Okay, thank you very much.